Well, Toyota becoming the second company to pause its self-driving testing following an accident in which an Uber self-driving vehicle struck and killed a woman in Arizona, leading, of course, to many questions about whether or not public roads are ready for self-driving cars. With me now in a Fox Business exclusive is Alex Roy, the Drive's editor-at-large and founder of the Human Driving Association. The Human Driving Association, are you fighting back against the robots for us on our behalf?
Well, the Human Driving Association was originally almost intended to be a joke. I was just so annoyed at all, I thought, the propaganda around self-driving cars, which are not here yet, and I don't think are coming soon. And so we support the fair and balanced deployment of self-driving technology.
You do understand, though, that they're going to probably be deployed sooner rather than later. I mean, listen, I remember 2 years ago reading articles about 5 years from now, or whatever, and then you saw the acquisitions, the Mobilize, and all of a sudden they're doing tests everywhere all around this country. But we're not. But your concern is that we're not prepared for it, perhaps, as a society, and maybe the technology won't be prepared.
Well, let's be serious. We're going to see self-driving cars, and I mean cars without steering wheels or even a person, in the front, probably in the next 5 to 7 years. But you're going to see them in places where it'll be easiest to deploy them. I mean, places we thought like Arizona, but clearly, as the accident has shown us, they're not ready, and I don't think they're going to be ready anytime soon.
Ultimately, though, if this is the case, though, my hypothesis is this: that there will be a point where we'll have mass distribution or deployment of these autonomous vehicles, and it might actually be illegal for humans to drive because we're so unpredictable. I mean, could we ever see a place like that perhaps 10 years down the road?
I think that's very unlikely in our lifetimes, or probably ever in this country. The most optimal deployment of any kind of automation or technology is one where the technology is seen as a means of enhancing human intelligence. And that's why in Airbus and Boeing, you see the pilots are highly trained, know how to use the automation for the optimal outcome. If you think of technology as an end, as a goal of replacing humans, you're going to get a lot of pushback, both from humans and from the fact that machines aren't perfect. Neither are we.
I get you on that. I believe that they're less imperfect than we are. But so
that remains to be seen.
It remains to be seen. What remains to be seen. But remember, the futurists always said we'll be freed up for greater things, like using more than 10% of our brain. So this accident out there, everyone's putting their program on pause. We know that's only going to be temporary. There have always been accidents when new technology has arrived, whether it was an airplane or a train or the horseless carriage. What's to stop these companies? Because I see unmitigated dollar signs for them, and I really believe they're going to try to force this, and I think that whatever they can sort of use their will and their financial resources, they'll make it happen.
Well, they're pushing hard to deploy these vehicles as soon as possible, and because there's no safety standard, no one knows what safe is. All we know of safety is that humans are okay in this country with 40,000 deaths a year, but we're clearly not okay with one death. Somewhere in between, there's this equilibrium between what we're prepared to tolerate in terms of mistakes from humans versus machines. They've handled this very poorly in the past. Mm-hmm. It is almost miraculous that Tesla survived and, in fact, almost unscathed from the accident several years ago. But that's because the Tesla never claimed to be fully self-driving. Here you've got an Uber claim fully self-driving that should have been able to drive and see better than a human, and it didn't. The whole point of self-driving cars is that they be safer than people.
Right.
If they're not, why?
All right, great point. We got to bring it back real soon because this is a situation that's just going to become more prevalent, obviously, as these tests get greater and they push, because we both know they're going to push. They want to get these things on the road, and the Ubers of the world are pushing harder than anyone else. Thanks a lot, Roy.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.